QNAME. Your turn. Here are your questions. Best item to find in a Walmart for cheap? I've been to a Walmart once in my entire life. I didn't buy anything. So, fidget spinner still a thing? I don't know, you could buy one of them. This one's broken, by the way. This is the one I bought. I don't know if you've ever seen my 2-part duology called Trying to Be Cool. I think they might be unlisted now. What are your opinions on doorknobs? Well, okay, let's just... You know, it's got solid turn power. Do you know what I mean by that? You can turn it and it turns really, really well. You know, if you hand this to someone, it fixes all the world's problems. Reginald is immortal. He's not president of QNAME. He is the ruler. Reginald the ruler, hey? Yeah, we already discussed. He's the leader of Milkland? I don't know. But Reginald, what to say about Reginald? Let's just say QNAME 200 is not going to be good for Reginald, okay? Hey there, I took a look around your channel and I'm wondering if you'd like to hire an editor. We'd love to work with you. Well, you can see how good their job was on next week's gaming videos, or one of them, probably. I don't know. Yeah, actually, please give feedback on whether you like the way those ones are or the other ones are, because I don't like editing gaming videos. I like recording them. I don't like editing them. Whereas with QNAME, I like both filming them and editing them. That's why I am filming them in bulk. It's literally the 2nd of February, and this is releasing like 10th of February is when this episode's coming out. So that shows how much I love filming QNAME, because I finally found something that makes it fun again. You know what? Okay, let's go through a history lesson. History lesson on QNAME. I don't want to get the whiteboard out again. We already did 2 episodes with the whiteboard. We don't need it to be a trilogy. We only do duologies on QNAME. So, I have different eras of QNAME, of what I like to call different eras anyway. They're not necessarily specifically anything special, but, you know, they're eras. They're defined eras. So let's start with QNAME 1 to 29, I'd say. Actually, the first maybe 10 QNAMEs, or 11 or 12, or 15 even. The first 15 or so QNAME, they're pretty bleh.
QNAME, your turn. Late again. QNAME episode 5 is coming out tomorrow.
I'm telling you, especially 1, because that's made on iMovie. Not because iMovie was my main editing software. My computer wasn't working properly, so I had to edit on iMovie. That's why that QNAME looks different to the rest. But those early ones, there was a lot of like gaps and they were long. And I know QNAMEs are starting to become long again, but difference, I don't have large spaces in between the sentences I say. I do while recording, because that's how recording works and how breath works, but I don't while editing, which is what makes the nowadays longer episodes different to then a days longer episodes. So then, yeah, I'd say from maybe 20 to 29, we're starting to begin some of the long running jokes. We already had lol no as a long running joke, but now we're getting nope. I forgot to add the nope counter for the previous episode, so I had to. I'm counting it for both. We even had the introduction of said counter, and you know, it was a fun time. And then we get to the dark era. I call it the dark era because every episode practically has the exact same joke on repeat from 30 to 55. This is also the death of the joke. Now I know I still do the joke, but it's not the same now. I do it rarely. Dark era was full of national anthems. So what do we have to do first? Oh, the USSR anthem. Who would have guessed? Okay, let's go. United forever. I know that sounds weird, but trust me, if you watch the episodes, we got national anthems, really strange titles such as like Killer Robots plus Russia or something like that. That's, I think, one of the titles. Or Spider-Man with 3D glasses on kills me. I think that's another title. So we got weirdo titles. We got America versus Russia jokes. That was a very common thing. It would be about communism, and it would be about the Russian Revolution. United forever in friendship and labor. Things that made me say nope. Do you commit nope all the time on repeat, on repeat, on repeat? We've got the homophobic era. Homophobic era of QNAME kind of lasted a long time. Sorry. Not that I was homophobic, it's just the jokes were, okay? That's what I mean by the homophobic era. Okay? So calm down. And the dark era ended with what I would call the worst episode of QNAME ever put out at the time. We've had some bad ones, like the clone episode. I make fun of the clone episode a lot. That episode stinks.
No, 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 no! Now I gotta zip, because I'm gonna trip. Hey now, QNAME, we tried so hard, no.
But what's funny is one of my favourite episodes of QNAME is also a part of the Dark Era, episode 54. I like episode 54 because of the opening. The opening is me crawling across the ground to Hurt by Johnny Cash, and, you know, it hurts or whatever. And it's really emotional. It's the 1 year anniversary of QNAME. I forgot to do a 5-year anniversary episode. I'm sorry. I was busy getting 700 views on putting Mario 64 Mario in Minecraft, okay? But I like the opening, and there's not a lot of note joke from what I remember. I don't even know if there's any, to be honest. But I think it is one of the best. I also like QNAME 100, and a few others are pretty cool too. Even the last episode is one of my favorites already. And for me, it's not even out yet. But I've edited it. It's scheduled. It's already it's ready to go, and I really like it. So then after the Dark Era of QNAME, we've got from 56 to around, let's just say 74. I don't know the exact number. 72. 56 to 72. Very specific. I call it the Tamago 24/74 era. Granted, Tamago 24/74 does not appear in a single episode. He has a response, like a question for 58, featured in 57 first, but then it wasn't a question episode, so then 58. But I call it Tamago 24/74 era because a lot of the jokes were related to Tamago 24/74's channel, so if you watch QNAME, he was probably sick of hearing jokes about himself. And if you're watching this Tamago 24/74, I'm sorry about that era. It's not that the QNAMEs were necessarily bad in that era. They're okay. I still had the funny joke on occasion. And, it was okay. But another thing, there were like 5 episodes I recorded in bulk because they were a part of my 1000th video. So, those ones are kind of boring. It's 61, 63, 65, 67, and I think also 62. So 61, 62, 63, 65, 67, 69. No, not 69. But I didn't do 64, 66, and 68 because they're question episodes and they would have been repetitive in my 1000th video. It's also not technically my 1000th video anymore because I have a lot of videos unlisted now, but overall on my channel, it is the 1000th video that I made, okay? So then after 72, we've got 73 to... See, I don't know how to describe this. I don't know when this era ended. I do, but I kind of feel like it's split into 2. We've got pre-100 and post-100. So, from 73 to 99.5, we have the QNAME Ripoff Era. This is when I made fun of someone else who made a show that was extremely similar to the concept of QNAME, which, to be fair, is extremely similar to the concept of Yai, but I changed a few things, and then this ripoff show happened to do the exact same changes, but not all of the changes, because I don't often talk about a lot of the changes, because I don't do them anymore. But, but a lot of the jokes in that era were centered around that show, and like a diss track war or whatever, I don't know. That was that era. Then there's 100. 100 doesn't count in any era, because it's QNAME 100. It's an hour and 20-something minutes long. It's basically an entire era comprised into one video. Now, what's funny about QNAME 100 is it released April 9th, 2020, which, as you know, the world was locked inside by then. But I had made pretty much the majority of the entire episode way before, well, not way before, but like a few months before that happened. The only parts that weren't were the one last lol no, the last song of the thing, and then the outro segment where I just say thank you for watching. They were the only parts that were made during lockdown. Everything else was made before, which means that it's very strange. It had a lot of hype. Has a lot of views. I think it's the most viewed episode of QNAME. I would hope it is, because it is like one of the best ones. But it could have been better. And I'm not just saying that because there are people in it that I don't like anymore. I'm also saying that because it could have been better. What's funny though is QNAME 100 opens with a song. When I released QNAME 100, I was not proud of that song. Now that I listen to that song, I actually kind of enjoy it. I think it's the best song out of the entire episode, besides from the My Music Your Lyrics, which is also really good. But then we come to QNAME 101 to, I'm gonna say, QNAME 101 to 130. QNAME 101 to 130 were post QNAME 100, a lot of the same jokes, but I was a bit more creative with QNAME. We had the haiku episode, we had the picture episode. They ripped off ideas of Jack's film, but it's still more creative than if you had the powers of Quicksilver, what would you do? Or who was your favorite Avenger? So, you know. And then we have 131 to 150, the papering gamesified era. This era, I tried to tell a story through a bloody Q&A show. Granted, I think telling a story through QNAME is good, but not when it's every single episode, which was pretty much the majority of 131 to 150, was telling one big story that connected to all these other random stuff that you don't need to care about. You don't need to know how it connects to an animated show called The Little Pencil. You don't need to know how it connects to bloody Not Your Grandma Sucks, even though Not Your Grandma Sucks is supposedly... it got really confusing, okay? But then 151 to 158, this is a very small error, is the no friends, but I'm making fun of it era. Self-explanatory. Also, episodes not very creative, and I did a sequel to the worst episode, and the song's still not that good. It's better, but it's not that good. Then we have a 2-episode duology era, 159 to 160, which is the video essay era, which is based on, I don't know if you know, Tamago 2474. Yeah, again, getting a mention. Tough luck. He did a video on nostalgia. So I made QNAME 159 about the multiverse, did not mention the fact that it was a QNAME that I did not mention it was a QNAME episode, and I tried to make it different to see what it would do, and it got a lot of views. A lot of views for a QNAME episode, and I was like, oh, this works. So I'll do it for cheese. It still did better than the average QNAME, but it's about cheese. And finally, nope, second last error, another small error, we got 162 to 167. We have the I want to test to see if QNAME starts to work again era, where I just chuck out QNAMEs once a week. I know that's what I do now, okay, but I'm telling you it's a different era. That's when we get some classics like funny Discord responses. There's one I made when I was in a Discord call with Jack's Films because he was editing and I was like, I want to edit something too, so I'll just make a QNAME. And then I did, and that was the one that's 57 seconds long. Little fun fact for ya. Anyway, finally we have 168 to present day, which I call the creative era of QNAME, where I'm doing much more creative things with QNAME, and I'm having fun recording them, having fun editing them, and I do it once a week, and we're all happy, and it gets lots of views too, which is also a good thing. Thank you, Reginald the Rat. Anyway, that was a really long response to a question that asks if I want an editor. What? Can I get N-word pass? That's not up to me, Darwin. Sorry, proper response. Nope. Finally, how good are you at TF2? Well, if you're judging by my engineer gaming video, I am standard. That recording session was actually really funny. That guy, the guy, granted, while recording the video, I thought he was the most annoying guy in the entire universe. But I knew for a fact it would make a really funny video. That's why I stayed in the game. That's why I didn't leave. And there was a lot of stuff I cut out that he said, but a lot of it was just him laughing or saying, oh, we need to go really intelligent. It's boring. Anyway, don't know what I'm doing. I got a question for you. It is our annual, even though we haven't done it in a long time, it is our annual Valentine's Day special. You write me a poem. Except this time I'm making it a little bit different. I'll write a haiku in response. Your poem doesn't have to be a haiku. I just find it really easy to write haikus. Actually, I'll provide an example of a haiku. This is a haiku. It's 575, that's right. I know English well. Leave your responses in the Discord server, and I'll pick my favorites in the next episode of QNAME. Link in the description to the previous episode. Or, here's a clip, now I really need to poo. QNAME. If you were to make a country, what would it be? Here, are your answers drawn on a whiteboard because I hate myself? Look how in focus I am. Gaio says A.E. Humberland. Okay. Now what do we think looks like? There's